Hi. Welcome to a all ages learning video. I thought I would try something new and actually try and teach my viewers something I know quite a little bit about because of Mama's past. And we're actually kind of doing it kind of sponsored style because I do have a special package available. Through Mama with this podcast. So, let's get started. I don't have any live viewers yet, but if you do join me live or even afterwards, be sure to drop your comments in. Let me know you're here and what your thoughts are on as we move forward. So let me just fix my face here. I just had to fix my face. Sorry about that, my friends. Okay, so what is earned media? In the traditional sense of publicity, earned media is when the editorials or the stories in like the newspaper or the magazine is about you or your business or something you're doing. Like this applies to whether you are a nonprofit or a business or whatever. If you are in the newspaper or on a magazine or on the radio, those are all earned media opportunities. And the reason they're called earned media is they are not paid media. You can't pay to get in a story, or at least you shouldn't be. That's actually a scam sign. If you are asked to be on a podcast or on a radio show, they ask you to pay, that's a paid media opportunity and not an earned one. So that is the basic thing. I hope that makes sense. If you are watching in the comments, you can let me know whether that makes sense. So there are two kinds of media basically in the world these days. There is the traditional media, radio, magazines, television, let's see what else is traditional, because the digital media is, of course, those things that are primarily online and through your phone, and so that is the digital media space. So podcasts, YouTube, this is certainly but this is a different kind of media. That's a third type of media, so I guess there's three. um, so so say you wanted to be a guest on a podcast, like, or a YouTube video, and yeah, that's different though, because you can get to be a guest even by not asking. Oh, anyways, I'm gonna leave that one out of things for right now. Let's just talk about traditional media for the moment. This is a very stressed out industry right now. And if you can provide your story in a newsworthy, relevant way, it can be not so hard to get earned media coverage, or as we call it at our house, asked for media coverage. That's when you send a press release or a invitation for that media outlet to cover you for some reason. So you can earn media by asking for it. Sometimes, though, you can get accidentally covered because the reporter finds out you're doing something really cool and awesome, and then they come and ask you, hey, can I put you in my media because I think what you're doing is cool. That happens sometimes, but it can't be relied upon. And if it happens on accident, sometimes our own media is not ready for it. Like our websites might not be ready for the traffic if we get accidental media coverage. So it's good to be prepared. And it's easy to be prepared and not very expensive either, even if you hire someone like Mama. Now, I just want to point out, you don't need to hire someone to do these things for you. It's very easy to do yourself. Well, maybe not. Perhaps easy, but not that hard either. Hi, friend, who you are joining me live here. I was just talking about earned media coverage and the difference between traditional. Oh, I lost my viewer. Okay, so I will go back for those who are following in the recording because it's kind of boring, I know, to listen to recaps if you are watching in the um, recording. So, anyways, I wanted to mention what was I talking about? Oh, yeah. I wanted to get to the second thing that I promised in the description, which is why it's important to small, independent, creative business owners. So and actually this is important to all business owners to an extent, and sometimes to those in nonprofits, because media coverage can quite simply help you to reach places. Mama's hand's a little sore. Just a minute. We have to reposition her hands. So I'm just going to put the be right back here. Oops. Mama hit the wrong button. Just a minute. Save. Show. Okay. We'll go be right back. And she's going to fix this so that I look good. Okay. Thank you very much for your patience. Okay, they're flying in. There we go. I'm going to just get into why this is important for creative, independent small business owners is quite simply it gets you an opportunity to reach an audience that your budget can't afford. Let me give you an example from a few years ago. Mama wrote a press release for a couple of young entrepreneurs, and from that press release, they got coverage on their local radio, in their local newspaper, and in a national magazine geared towards their niche. That magazine alone, the coverage in that magazine would have cost $6,400 because it was, oh, hi, live viewer. I was just explaining why earned media coverage is good for a creative, independent small business owner. With an example from a few years ago when Mama wrote a press release for these two young entrepreneurs. They were sisters, and they involved their parents in their business, and it was really, really quite cool. Anyway, so Mama wrote the press release, and it got picked up by a niche magazine that really appealed to that particular product that they sold. It was like a hair thing for sports to keep their hair back without ruining their hair or getting their hair in their eyes as they did their sports. So it got picked up. And in this magazine, if you had paid for a 2-page full color spread, it would have cost $6,400 US. That was their advertising cost at the time for it. It cost them 10% of that to pay Mama to write a couple of press releases that got picked up that way. So just that one outlet alone, it would have cost $6,400 for them to pay for that as an ad. But here's the thing. When you are covered as a story instead of like an ad, it's given a little bit more prestige in the reader's mind. Not on purpose, not intentionally. Oh, I gotta change this. I gotta hide that. Okay, yeah, there we go. So, yeah, that's the thing. People look at a story that's covered. Like if you're covered as a story and they've interviewed you, it's given a bit more prestige in the end user's mind than if you just paid for an ad. So they could have paid for an ad and it would have been, worth the $6,400, as it relates to sales in hopefully terms. Like, you can never be guaranteed an ad is going to hit the spot, and you can never be guaranteed that publicity is going to hit the spot. But if you have a good match between that particular publication or outlet, it could be radio, it could be like radio is really good for if you have a local target market, like local radio, if your station is indeed local. We must acknowledge that a lot of media outlets, even if they tend to be local in terms of their ads, they might not have local talent doing their broadcasting. Like in my town, one of the stations is local, in that they have people working locally, still in an office sort of thing. And the other one has gone primarily off-site. So they don't have an office, and a lot of their content is created in other towns. They are other towns within our province, but they are not like local content creation. So it's a little bit harder to get local coverage than it used to be. It used to be a little bit easier. It's a little bit harder these days, but it's not impossible. You got to know who your media is. And that is not very hard. Again, little bit of research, little bit of looking around, and you can figure it out. But you don't have to do it all on your own, you know. You can get help if you have a budget for it. Like I said, all of this is learnable. You can do it on your own. It is not rocket science, but if you want to shorten your learning curve and get professional help along the way, just a step in between, Mama has a package at patricia.com for a media package, which includes, a whole lot of things. And she can, introduce those to you. I'm not going to dive into that right now because I think we have a few more things to cover when it comes to earned media, because I do want to talk about the digital media outlets that you can look to. Now, the approach is a little bit different. You don't need a press release. In this case, you want to craft a targeted email to those outlets that might want to cover you. And this could be bloggers, it could be vloggers, it could be different sort of digital outlets that exist, podcasts, vlogs, all of those things could be targeted if you want to be a guest on them, because they sometimes, not all of them feature guests, but if they do, you could always ask, right? This involves, writing a targeted email that describes why you would be a good guest, how your target markets overlap, and what you bring to the table as a guest. What you have. It could be your expertise. It could be a certain point of view. It could be almost anything. And it would depend on your business. And I could give a few examples. Say you are a hairstylist. Well, then you might know about some of the latest fashions and how to take care of hair, and what you think of some of the movements that are out there online. Like, there's just so many things. that you could cover. And we are currently working with a hiking expert, a guide in the Rocky Mountains. And you'll be able to see a sample of the media package, the one that I am offering a $100 discount on. You can go to the link that is in the scroll down in the bottom. That link will take you to Mama's page to book um, your MV. Oh, sorry. What was I going to say? Oh, I forgot what I was going to say because I got distracted. Um, Yeah, it will be a media package special from Patricia.com. Because I don't do the actual work. Mama does the actual work and wants to get the credit for it because she's good at it, okay? So she does the work, and I'm just offering a $100 discount on her media package special, and that is $597 regular. So with my $100 off discount, that becomes $497 plus GST if you are Canadian. And it's $497 plus GST even. Um, no, it's $497 US if you are from the States. Yeah, I think that's how the shopping cart works. I might be wrong about that. I'll have to check into the shopping cart situation if you are indeed a US customer. I forget exactly how that was set up, and I should have checked before I went live. But I did want to get this special out there on this beautiful Saturday morning as I had the opportunity to do it. So I will. You know what? I'm not getting any live viewers right now, and that is a-okay. I know my viewers are not always on in the morning. They got things to do. There's could be, I guess, potentially craft markets out there, or maybe they're just doing what they like, or they're sleeping in, or whatever. Anyway, I hope this information has been valuable to you, even if you don't book me or Mama. Um, yeah, those are just the things. Oh, I meant to do some red flags for publicity. So if you are doing publicity on your own, or you're thinking, hey, I don't really think your Mama and I jive, but I am wanting to get earned media. Okay, so you want to make sure that you are not lured in by offers of guaranteed media placement. No professional worth their salt is going to guarantee that they will get you into the outlets of your choice, or any outlets at all. It's just there's too many variables to offer a true guarantee in that way. Now, it is true that Mama has never failed to get publicity for a client who has attempted at least 3 times. Like if she's done 3 releases for them, she's always gotten coverage for them. But that, you know, past performance is not a guarantee of future performance. It's just not. There is no guarantees with any publicity coverage. So watch out for those people who say, I can guarantee you media coverage, because you might find out that what you're doing is getting paid media coverage instead of earned media coverage. And sometimes your end user might not be able to tell the difference, but there is a difference. I think sometimes the end user can tell the difference. And if they can't tell the difference, you don't want to be, you get up all in that muckety area. It's not a good it's not a good look. It's a little bit slimy. Okay. So, and also, if I didn't mention, I think I mentioned this already, but you should not have to pay to be on a show or podcast. Now, we do know that there are some people out there who think that they can charge for appearing on their show or podcast, but most legitimate media outlets aren't going to ask for payment for being on their podcast. They want you to be on their show because you are newsworthy and relevant and interesting to their audience, not because you paid to be there. If you paid to be on a show or podcast, it should be um, very clear and transparent to the end user, because it is not fair to the end user if you are paying for your appearance, because as I said, there is a sense of prestige that the end user attributes when you are in the media. You become sort of a mini celebrity when you are in your target audience's favorite media. That's just the way it goes. And so, one of the things I wanted to point out is that even if you have a local market, it can be kind of beneficial to get into national media, like the magazines. Like Mama was once in Chatelaine magazine as a interviewee in an article. Now this was way back in 2010, October 2010. I'm not sure if we have that edition way around somewhere around here, but she was in that, and she can point to that as a time when she put her money where her mouth is when it comes to publicity coverage and earned media coverage. Now, I can tell you the story if you're interested in the story of how Mama got mentioned in a blurb of Chatelaine magazine. Now, if you are a U.S. viewer, you may not be familiar with Chatelaine magazine. It is a Canadian women's magazine that talks about current issues and events. It's kind of a little sister Cosmo, if I can put it into US terms. Not quite a red book, at least. And you know what? I will be honest, maybe some of these references are dated because Mama has not bought a physical magazine in a long time, and maybe some of these don't exist anymore. I think Cosmo still exists, but Mama hasn't been in the store looking at the magazines for a while. Maybe we should do that, or head to the library, check out the magazines. We used to do that when we were active in the publicity field, and since we are going to be active in the publicity field again, I guess that's a good idea. So there's a tip for you. We do practice what we preach here on the Page to Puppet podcast. And you can look for Mama. We will have those media mentions on her page coming up, but we have been, she has been interviewed on a couple of shows and podcasts in the last couple of months that we have to add to her media page. But yeah, so we do practice what we preach. It's not all, we really hate hypocrites on this show, and so we endeavor not to be so. And we do believe that we show, not tell, that showing and not telling is a more powerful force in telling our own story. So yeah, there's that too. But here we are talking to the empty room. Well, I guess except for Nomi over here and Llama. Drama Llama. No Drama Llama. My no drama llama. Mama has started singing a lot since she got this new job. I don't know what it is about being around kids, but it makes her sing a lot. We're not sure whether they like it or not. Some of the kids that she works with aren't really, well, they are capable of expressing themselves, but maybe not in the most traditional of ways. Yeah, that's. Anyways, we'll stop talking about that because we're probably getting into great territory there. So we don't want to do that. Anyways, but she is really, really loving her job as an education assistant at the local school. And I have not been there myself. But Yasmin and Edgar have. And because of our experiences there, or rather her experiences there, some of our upcoming videos are going to feature a new puppet build because one of our goals here at Cage the Puppet is that Mama wants to do at least a couple of puppet builds a month for paying clients primarily, but this next puppet build we're actually doing as a gift. As a gift to the school that we work at, because we are so appreciative of having a place that accepts us as puppets. And we think it's going to be so cool. So we are making a look-alike puppet for one of the teachers at the school. And we are so excited about this because last week we found the perfect wig for my new friend. And so we are going to create that. And I have to ask permission before I can say her name. So I will ask for that on Monday through Mama. But in the meantime, we are going to get started on that build. Another thing we are going to be starting is a dollhouse build. We're going to be doing a dollhouse in a suitcase. And we will be taking that over to the school to show off because we know that there's one of our, actually, there's a couple of our students who are going to love the Playhouse dollhouse that we're going to make in the suitcase. So we're going to show that build here because we figure that's content and we figure that miniatures are really cool and something Mama likes. So we're going to be bringing that as additional content. Hi! Hi, live viewer. Oh my goodness. I will just go over and see this live thing. Hi, Kate. We are so happy you joined us. I had finished most of my content. I was talking about earned media and traditional media versus digital media and how and why it's important to creative and independent small business owners, which really, really boils down to our whole tagline, champagne marketing on a beer budget. And that is that earned media helps you reach an audience that you might not otherwise be able to afford. Well, I am happy to just give you the overview because it's really quite simple. Earned media is when you are covered as a story in any media, whether that is traditional, TV, radio, magazines, newspapers. Like all of these are a little bit under attack these days, but they are all still ways that you can get your word out as a creative, independent small business owner. And earned media is like really what we are all about, what our special is all about. We have that special rolling across the screen. You might see it. But yeah, that's really all we were talking about today. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. And I will ask you, I will tell you. Yeah, so that's kind of all I had to talk about today. I just go wait here for a minute and see if you have a question, Kate. And really, the reason why we're taking a break from talking is so that Mama can have a sip of coffee. Are you fueled by coffee, Kate, or do you have more natural means of keeping your energy levels high? If you do, or are you one of those low level activity people? I'm so interested in my viewers and what they are like. Did you know that I have 166 subscribers now, Kate? I'm so excited. I'm so happy you like my content. I really strive to offer something that will help. You know what I mean? It's such a tough world out there as a small business owner. Oh, two cups of coffee. Hmm. Okay. Um. That's not a lot, Kate. Like not if you were my mama. Like my mama, I would tell you that she drinks 2 cups of coffee before 6:30 a.m. Like before we turn on. Are you a savvy viewer too? Like, oh, not savvy. It's not just savvy show. It's savvy and arcade. Your morning guru. Do you watch that too? Don't you? I think I've seen you in the comments over there. If I'm not mistaken. Cooker, I'll take you. Okay, off in 4 cups. Okay, that's more realistic. Yeah, yeah, me too. I don't just like her. I love her. She is like an inspiration to me, even though she is younger than Mama. Mama has always believed that you can learn from younger people as well as older people. Like she is learning so much, so much from the kids that she is teaching now. Oh, you don't get up that early? Oh, okay, but that's cool too. We do not believe we are not from the Rachel Hollis Club. We are accidental people who wake up early. See, ours started a couple of years ago. Okay, so actually it started. I have to explain the story. Okay, because we don't want to be we are body positive in this household. But Mama used to be very skinny, very skinny. And then she met this man, and he is a glorious man who does all the things, including the cooking. And part of this cooking is butter and cream. And you must know that these are not good for the premenopausal or menopausal woman's waistline. Mama shot up 30 pounds in 1 year of knowing him because were Sundays were Benny days. Eggs Benny, with the cream and the butter and the eggs and the ham. Oh, and the English muffin and drenching and the yum yums. Okay, so this results in a 30-pound increase in her whites. And so she was like, okay, well, yeah, maybe it's softer to hold. I mean, she was soft before. Do not get me wrong. She was in no way fat. She was just skinny. Okay, there's a difference. Right? The food was so yummy. It's kind of irresistible, really tasty. And also, she was drinking heavily at the time too, like more than she ever had in her life, kind of on the daily drinking. So that adds calories too. So she can't blame it all on the food. There was drinking involved too. So end result, 30 pounds increase in a year. And, she was feeling like, ugh, I don't like this. I don't like this for me. No, no shade on anybody who's comfortable at that. It's all good. Okay. But she decided, okay, what I have to do is go to the gym. So she did some experimenting with her body and saying, okay, when do I feel good going to the gym? So she discovered the best time for her to go to the gym was at 5:30 in the morning when it opened, before her body realized that it was awake. In this way, she was able to do a full cardio routine. She only ever really did the cardio, like doing something on this thing, this machine, like because that's what she liked and it was good for her and it was effective. And she was on the path to losing a pound a week, with her watching what she ate and then doing the exercise, and it was good for about 2 years. But then she stopped for a reason. I don't know. I don't remember exactly what the reason was. She just stopped. But the waking up early in the morning, that didn't stop. So that's why she wakes up early. No secrets. No, like this is, part of her success. In fact, in the early years, early years of her business, she slept in until the last possible minute before the kids were um until the kids were like 5 minutes from knocking on the door. Because her first job at home was as a childcare provider, doing home childcare, and so the first customers arrived. I think it was like around 5 to 7, maybe something like that. We don't remember. It was many, many, many years ago. 25 years ago now. Is it 25 or 26, Mama? I don't know. Neither of us can do math that far and that good. And good. Kate, you said, I like the idea of when I feel good to determine how we treat ourselves. Yeah. So, anyways, it's not that, see, and Mama fully realizes the privilege she had in being able to just go to the gym and lose the weight, and that all worked out for her. She knows that there are other people who have circumstances that don't make that a straight equation. And she knows that because her mama, the mama that inspired our ultimate dream, that's our Grandma Jackie. Though we called her Uncle Jake sometimes because that was her childhood nickname, and we don't know why exactly that was her childhood nickname, but it was. Anyways, great Grandma Jackie. It would be my Grandma Jackie, but it's her Mama Jackie. Anyways, she was a big, big woman for most of her life. When Mama met her, like for the time when she remembers, like, because Mama didn't quite remember meeting her when she was younger. So, Mama, I'm not sure if you know this story, so it's kind of long. Mama's mama was sent to the institution for her mental issues. Sorry, when Mama was young. So Mama went to go and live with her grandma and grandpa, and then later she went to go and live with her dad and her stepmom, and then when she was 14, if we did the math correctly, she went to go and see her mama for the first time because she had intercepted a letter that came from her mom, because for many years her letters were intercepted by her mom and stepdad, and she didn't know her mama was writing to her until that day when she got to the post to the mailbox that day early, and it happened to have a letter from her mom, and then she asked if she could go and visit, and that's when she met her mom. And when she got off the bus, so Mama went to go and visit her on the Greyhound, which tells you how long ago it was. It was a long time ago, because the Greyhound doesn't exist in Canada anymore. Anyway, yeah. So Mama got off the bus at midnight, and there was a very, very large, over 400-pound woman there. And that was Grandma Jackie. And Mama learned. Yeah. Mama learned all that was involved in the mentality behind Grandma's weight. Like there's so much mental stuff involved. But that was Grandma's story and not our story to tell. So I don't know whether it's appropriate. Like, Grandma has passed on. She's no longer with us, except in memory, and we don't know if it's appropriate to tell those parts of the story in public. I don't know. We're thinking about it. We just know that Mama's relationship. We are only telling Mama's side of the story when it comes to that. I think so. Anyway, yeah. So that's why Mama gets up early and why she is really strong on body positivity, because when people are mean to fat people, that and I don't use that in a bad way. Please don't take that the wrong way. Oh, I am sorry that you have an eating disorder. I hope you find the proper therapy and help for that, my dear, because I care about you. Okay. Oh no. I hope that is so hard. That is so hard to live with. But I hope you believe that you are strong and that you can find other ways that are more healthy to deal with the kind of things that make you want to do self-harm. You know what I mean? Like, you can still enjoy food. I think so. Okay, I'm gonna stop now because I am not a therapist in any way, shape, or form. Mama is not a therapist. She knows. I think that maybe make sure that you watch the cat dietitian. I think that would be very good. I think that she knows about stuff like that. But whoa, that is way over my pay grade. I know about penny pinching. I know about publicity. I know about small business. I know about being creative. I know about being weird. Oh, I know about depression. Mama knows about depression. I don't know whether I don't know whether we've mentioned it on this channel. But cover your ears or get out of the way if you are not, like, you could turn me off now if you are triggered by things like unaliving. I'll put that way. I think everybody out there knows what that means. Okay, so that's your trigger warning. If you don't want to hear about it, click off now. But if the fact is, Mama tried to unalive 3 times in her life. Like, 3 times she had to go to the hospital for that. All of those attempts, please do not be alarmed. She is mostly healthy now. It's always it's always a process. As we get healthier mentally, sometimes other things unfold, and it is a process. But the last attempt was when she was 24. There is, and yeah, we do talk about mental health on this channel because it's important. Mama wants to know the she's she used to be, or the days that are, that anyone who feels hopeless about circumstances or life, to know that it is transitional. It is something that we can get over. And even if you are at the edge of darkness, that there is hope. Because, like, Mama that was 24, let's do math. Or let's figure. I don't know the math, okay? But it's 49 minus 24, okay? No, it wasn't 24. It was 26. No, it was 25. Okay, so it was 24. Wow. No, it was. I can't do the math. I forget when it was. It was sometime. Anyways, long time ago. But that doesn't say that anxiety and depression and weird things don't crop up. Like, Mama still has this weird thing about eating um, in front of people in other places. Like she has difficulty eating with people that aren't family in restaurants. Like so conferences and places where she's not with her home people, she has a hard time eating. And then she ends up taking most of it in a doggy bag home from situations like that. Like, it's just weird. So that's one of her weird food things. And it's something that she hopes she can get over because she'd like to. Like in the future, after the pandemic and when all of this is over, she would like to maybe be a speaker again. Because she really enjoyed the time when she went on tour. It was a mini tour, three places. Um, three places in Ontario that she went. Yeah. So, anyways, there was the three places in Ontario that she went with the speaking tour, but she doesn't really like airports or hotels. So that's kind of why we were hoping that we could do like um, an RV type tour because she liked camping and she likes speaking, but she doesn't like the airports and she doesn't like hotels. So we were thinking that might be a solution in the future. But to do that, there's some time to go. There is some time to go, and of course, once we reach our dream, we won't be able to go anywhere in the tourism months, in the warm months, because we'll be manning the base at our campground and retreat center. Yeah, because that's the ultimate dream for us anyways. Yeah, so we're doing that. The money that we earn through Page the Puppet and Patricia with a Y.com all goes, well, there's $1,000 a month that we earn that goes towards the living expenses for Mama, because her job at the school pays for like 2/3 of her budget. And then so we need to put another $1,000 in from what we earn through our stuff, and then the rest, after taxes, goes to charity and then towards our future causes. So yeah, that's kind of how we break everything up. And yeah, just always share that. I don't know why I shared that, but that's kind of how everything goes around here. We have everything kind of doled out into these different categories so that we can move towards a brighter future. We aren't looking at a luxurious, really. As I said earlier, I'm not sure if you were here, Kate, or not, but we aren't in that $1 million club type headspace. We never have been. Mama never was. And we went into that space for a small time, you know, where we were thinking, oh, we got to increase our prices because people don't take us seriously if we have lower prices. And we've been told, in the past, your prices are too low. I know. I mean, that's stupid in my eyes because, there's different levels of affordability. And Mama has come to a place where we feel that we are making journeyman's wages. They are perfectly fair for what we do and how we compare to others out there, like workmen people. We don't need an extravagant life, at least not us personally. Now, we do know people that have, you know, big incomes, but, you know, they have to work a lot for it, most of them, or they've worked a lot in the past to create the platform that they can make a big income. Nothing happens overnight. Like every time we have worked with people who make like the $50,000-$60,000 a month, it's taken them 10 years to get there or thereabouts. Some people get there a little bit faster, but not Not all, like most of them. Like there are exceptions to every rule. Just like an MLM, you have some people, some teeny tiny percentage, right? Like there, where we go. This is exactly, yeah, that is exactly why Mama started her first business. The day home. She wanted to be home with her babies and have story. Not to get rich, but we needed the money. She needed the money. They needed the money. They needed the money because we needed money. And this is even more true. Like that was in 1997. 1997. And you needed two incomes to be able to stay at home. Like staying at home without an income just wasn't a viable option. Just not viable option. Hello, there were bills to be paid. So how do you pay those bills? So Mama decided to do what she knew. And what she knew at the time was how to look after kids. And, even when she'd been in previous things, she knew how to do that. And then while she was doing that, she figured out, oh, I can make an income online with writing. Only then it wasn't online. She did it, writing traditionally freelance for magazines was how she originally tried to make money from home. And she made a little bit of money that way. But most of her money came through online writing. Most of her credits came from online writing back in those days. And then, of course, we discovered press releases. And then, and back then she did them for $25. Yeah. But that, inflation and realizing what she's worth, the price has gone up. But, only to journeyman level. Because back then she was a beginner too. So, yeah, there was that too. Anyway, I have probably rambled long enough. For most of my viewers who might be watching in the replay, thank you, Kate. Thank you, Kate, so much for joining me live, for sharing your troubles and tribulations. And I hope that you find the thing, if you haven't found it already, that makes you happy and your family happy. Because Mama's whole thing was, what can I do to create a life I don't need a vacation from? And she thought she had found it. She thought she had found her dream job. She was so happy in it. She was a small business coach for a federally funded nonprofit, and it was awesome. She loved it so much. And it was great. But then a new manager was hired, and the lady said, I don't want to see you in public with the puppets because it doesn't reflect nicely on our agency. I want us to be seen as true professionals, whatever that means. And even in your private time, I don't want to see you with those puppets. And so Mama had to make a tough decision. And initially, she decided with the business that she was going to stay doing her dream job, being the business coach. Because she could help, she thought, more people that way. That she could help more people by being with the small business organization, she thought. Then, but, 6 weeks in, she was like, no, I can't do this. I love my puppets too much. It is too much a part of me. And I can't give it up. So then she put in her notice. And she got herself a job at the daycare. Only that didn't last long. The daycare was okay, but it just, the hours weren't enough for her to, like, daycare wages are minimum wages. Like, and you don't get tips. Like when you're a waitress or a, even in the kitchen, we get a little cut of the wages. sorry, a cut of the tips, so the late wages aren't just minimum wage. But in daycare, there's no tips, and you start at minimum wage. So if you don't get enough hours, and let's face it, minimum wage in my province is not enough to live on. And even what we're making as EAs is not quite enough for the lifestyle that Mama has become accustomed to. And it's not that it's a lavish lifestyle, you know. She just has a few things to pay for, and a few things. Excuse me. Oh, I am sorry about that. Mama had the cough, so she thought it would be a good opportunity to adjust my mouth because we were getting a little flip floppy with my mouth there. She's trying to be as good as she can be with the whole lip syncing thing. This is practice, because we want to be good at it. I see that there are two more. Two more. There we go. Oh yeah, Mama's okay. It was just a cough. She has some bad habits that are consistent with coughing, and sometimes, especially when she hasn't been drinking, like because I've been yapping and yapping and not letting her have a drink of her coffee. So that causes her to cough for some reason. Ha! Anyway, that is all it was about. Where was I? I got distracted. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I was talking about how that was her dream job, and then that sort of taught her that nothing is forever. Like she knew that, okay? Like she wasn't naive or anything. She just kind of figured that she would keep that job until she retired, because the me and my other puppets were accepted by the previous manager. In fact, Princess Violet was created for that particular agency. Um, I, Princess Violet was created as an ambassador for local shopping, like, and for being an attractant at trade show booths, because puppets attract attention. I'm not sure if you knew that, and maybe that is just like something that the new manager didn't want is attention. I don't know why. You know, Kid attention is some of the best attention that you can get on the planet. But whatever, she didn't want to listen. And it was that not wanting to listen that made Mama not want to work there. Like she put in a few weeks. She tried. She tried. So that's the story. Yeah, and then it's been a really tumultuous process figuring out, okay, what do I want to do? Because when you have almost $50,000 of income coming in from that, like back then, she could afford to keep us as a hobby. She didn't have to have us making money because she was making enough from her day job and finding enough enjoyment in her day job that she didn't need us to make money or to have a side income to make money. Like it just we were just a hobby, and that was good with her. She didn't need us to make money, but now she does. So we've been thinking and working, and she's been doing all of the things, following her own plans. Like practicing what she preaches, like she was saying earlier, that we try as much as possible to practice what we preach. So, one of the things she has preached over and over again has been, well, since she invented it, because it kind of came about when she was teaching the youth entrepreneurship class how to write a small business plan. And the whole idea of that course was, at the end of it, I say they were kids and they were teenagers. Okay, so they weren't young kids or anything. They were teenagers in high school. And so, anyways, the whole thing that she was teaching them was how to write the small business presentation. Because at the end of that, they made a presentation to 4 local small business owners who judged them on a rubric. And then the one who got the highest points got $500 towards starting the small business that they had planned for. And so that was where the initial success philosophy that we share today came from. And that is the temper tantrum theory, I some kind of call it, because it sounds like a temper tantrum if you just listen to it. No, no, never, never. And that means, and the thing, it sounds like, you're having a temper tantrum, but it's the other kind of no. It's know yourself, know your market, never stop learning, never give up. And so that's what we had to go back to. Mama had to say, okay, knowing myself, what do I want to do? What am I good at? What am I wanting to share with the world? What is my end goal? And it hasn't changed. Mama's end goal with this whole campground and retreat center, it's been a goal in mind for about 20 years. About 20 years. Now, we have gone through various degrees of believing whether it could happen or not. Because there were some times it was like, oh, we can make it happen this way. Or, oh, we can make it happen that way. And now we've had to, kind of figure out how to make it happen. So one day it will happen maybe. And if it doesn't, at least we tried. That's the never give up part, right? So anyways, going back to things, to know yourself, and then there's to know your market. And we've really wanted to try to figure that out. It's been hard over the years. One time, Mama figured her market will be survivors of TAR, as we call it. We really like acronyms. TAR is survivors of toxic, abusive relationships. Because, personal experience and all that. And we did that, for a couple of years. We walked around. And now when I say we, I kind of mean Mama, because I didn't exist at that point. Yeah, Mama's gone through a lot of personalities through the years, if you can say that. A lot of different brands, different identities as a business owner. We started with Incredible Impressions back in 2003. I think it was 2003. And for a while we were, TAR, we liked that acronym too, for toxic abusive relationships, because we had learned that if you can come up with your own way to say things, that makes it your own, like that you're not sounding like everyone else out there, even though some of the things Mama says are things that other people say, because she's learned from other people. Anyway, it's a very difficult field to be in recovery from toxic abusive relationships, because there's a lot of different directions you can go. And there's a period of healing where it is not conducive to starting a small business. Because you see, one of Mama's precepts is that you should never make a decision from a place of worry. You should try and be as stress free as possible when making decisions. And coming out of a toxic, abusive relationship is the very definition of stress. Sorry for yelling, but oh my God, it is so stressful and really not a time when you can be focused on your customers and building your business and profit and making the right decisions. So I think that's where we need these bridge programs to help with that, to help with people get to a point in healing where they can balance more than just their own mental health. You know what I mean? So, anyways, it was a very hard area for Mama to get into because a lot of survivors are still in the woe is me mindset, and you can't grow in that mindset if you're looking for excuses and blaming things on people. It just doesn't work. So, anyways, and then we moved on. At that time, we bought a website. It was called "A Man Is Not a Plan," and we also had bought um, and we were involved in the Freebird project. That's where we started with a few friends, or at least we thought well, they were friends. Um, we started what we wanted to be. Oh my goodness, my face. I have to fix my face. 1 minute, please. Okay. Yeah, had to fix my face there because Mama's hand was in the wrong place. Okay, so yeah, that was the Freebird project that Mama was involved in, and we started a yeah, because a man is not a plan. And even if you are in a relationship, it's really good to have your own source of income. And if you can start your own source of income, whether it's a job, and see, here's the thing, in a lot of abusive relationships, the man tries to sabotage your income. It's called financial abuse, and they make it really hard to maintain a job or a career or a business. It can be so exasperating. Like, Mama has stories, oh my God, of sabotage that really hindered her progress over the years. Like, it's not even funny. Not even funny. Maybe I'll tell her those stories one day. Let me know. I know, Kate, you can let me know right now. And those of you watching in the replay, if you had the patience to get this far, thank you for listening because I am really enjoying getting this out. It's a good thing. So yeah, I'm glad you like that. A man, oh no, I am so sorry that she is there. Um, yeah, it's a very tough situation to be in. And let me tell you, it took 2 years of Mama being counseled by the self help group at her local women's shelter. It was outreach. She never went into the women's shelter, but there was an outreach program that met. It was group therapy, sort of, where it was led by a lady, and they had conversations about being in that, surviving it, and what to do to prepare to get out. Because it's very important that you have a plan to get out if you are in a situation like that. Whether you're a man or a woman, it's just it happens more often with women. Okay, just statistically, no shade on men who might be in a similar relationship. Okay. Anyway, yeah, so we started a clothing line. We had this lady in Bali who had a factory, and she was a designer, and we had it all set up. The only downside was it was made to order. So we couldn't offer, overnight shipping and stuff like that because we didn't have a pre-made stock. It was made to order. So it would take a long time for the orders to come. And that was a real downside to our stuff. But the 3 orders we did get, the people loved their stuff. It was really high quality, and Mama did love the things that we carried. So the style was boho chic, I guess you could call it. It was just really nice, beautiful batik pattern and flowy, and just kind of maybe modern hippie, if you can call it that. But being a group project, it was kind of difficult to keep the team together, and we lost 3 people by the time we started. We started with 5 people, and we ended with 2 by the time our launch began, because Mama wanted to get the launch began, and unfortunately, there were some communication issues, or she didn't think of things, or whatever. For whatever reason, we know the reasons, but it's just complicated to get into all the reasons it didn't work. But she did get our song on Spotify. If you look up Mama, Patrysha, on Spotify, not Spotify, oh my goodness. What is it called? SoundCloud. Yeah, that's where it is. We have the Free to Fly song that she commissioned. That was going to be the song that we used in our commercials and stuff. And, like we had these images of doing a live fashion show with these people and the song playing. And it was just about freedom and flying and all of that stuff. And we were going to use the money, the profits from our sales to do loans to survivors of domestic violence so that they could get started in their own business or getting started with things to start out in their new life. And we wanted to make it a loan because we really think that a lot of times it's hard to accept charity. To accept things for free can be really hard for a survivor because they kind of already feel, or at least Mama felt this way. Do not attribute this to every survivor because Mama might be different from others. We are all unique in the ways that we get through, the ways that we think. Gotta make that clear. Just a little disclaimer. But in Mama's case, it made her feel bad to think of accepting charity. So while she was accepting of the help through the group, she really didn't want her or her boys to end up in shelter or to end up, having to accept subsidization and welfare. She didn't want to end up on welfare, okay? She just didn't want to. And so she kind of tried to make a plan and get out safely. And that worked. I mean, it was mostly safe. There was an incident she didn't expect with some stalking post-separation and an incident with the cops needing to be called post-separation. But yeah, anyway, oh my goodness, we did not expect to be talking about this today. This was not on the agenda. We were just going to talk about earned media and that sort of thing. But okay. Oh, and the other one that we were, when it comes to branding, was marketing witchcraft. We had Mama went under the misnomer. Was pseudonym? It's not really a pseudonym. I guess it was just the brand marketing witchcraft. Only the problem was people thought she was a real witch, and she just wanted to express what one client has said to her in the past was that, I give this to you, I talk to you, and a couple of hours later, you're coming back to me with an idea that is exactly what I had in mind. It's like magic. And Mama was like, oh, maybe we are, a marketing witch. And so we went by marketing witchcraft for a little while. But then our Christian friends, because Mama was a Christian at the time, and our Christian friends started saying, oh, that's like, not part of Christianity. And that's sort of when we started to question Christianity because, you know, Mama had just meant it and the, wiggle your nose like that Samantha from the TV show and like Sabrina the Teenage Witch and stuff, you know? So anyway, people started like not recommending her because she was using witchcraft in her name. And nowadays, it's like witchcraft is cool, being into us in some circles, I guess. Maybe it's still the same in Christian circles, but in the circles I'm in, like I'm seeing way more. I mean, even Rachel Hollis is into the woo woo stuff these days. The things like meditation. That back in Mama's day was called woo woo, and so was the crystals and everything else. Now, do not get me wrong. Mama has the crystals and the rocks. Like she loves that stuff. It's like cool to her in these weird ways. And she has two tarot decks and like, hello, we have a gnome, right? And a drama llama and champagne and beer. We're eclectic, if everything, if anything. Yeah. Yeah, it is funny, I guess. Yeah, we've lived a funny, odd life. Me and the mama, mostly the mama, because my life has been short but sweet, I guess. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yes, what was our other one? Oh yeah, she went by. We had the domain name Patricia Publicity for a while. She was like really blatant about what we were going to specialize in. Patrysha Publicity, and that was the domain name then. But now it's just patricia.com because she got tired of changing her domain name for all these brand changes and this, that, and the other thing. And it's like everybody calls me by my name anyway. And, for a while, we were going to try doing videography and video editing, but then Mama's eyes, it discovered that, age is affecting her eyes and she can't, or she didn't, at least at the time, have the ability to get things in focus when she was doing the camera work. She's getting better at it now. She got new glasses after that failure. But yeah, so those are all of the places we've been. Well, no, not even all of the places we've been or the things we've done. But it is pretty much the story. Oh, yeah, I forgot that stage. PK Marketing Solutions. We were PK Marketing Solutions for a short while. Yeah, that was when we did the local shop and win campaign that led to a Chamber of Commerce allegation that drove Mama into another depression. Not one that led to any thoughts of unaliving, but one that definitely hit her in the psyche and really deterred her for a long time on the local level. Yeah, that was a time. That was in about 2008ish, I think it was. PK Marketing Solutions, circa 2008. Yeah, that was a time. So yeah, Mama's been through a lot of ups and downs in business. But honestly, over the years, she's never taken a loss. Now, there have been years of low profit. There have been years of only part-time effort. Now we have moved in 2022. Our schedule is 30 hours a week spent on our businesses. And when I say our businesses, I mean between patriciawithay.com and Paige the Puppet that we spend 30 hours a week. Now, that's not quite full time, but combined with Mama's EA position, it adds up to 60 hours a week of work. And we feel that's reasonable for our age and energy level and lifestyle and how much we want to put into making our world a better place with the talents that we have. And that's at the end of the day what we want to encourage all our creative, independent, small business owners to do. And sometimes that means making a balance of a day job. We take no, like we have a day job. Hello. We don't judge people as non-entrepreneurs if they have a day job. Yeah, like it's like, okay, I don't want to sound like a hun, but you truly are the CEO of your own life. Once you start making your decisions, you can kind of direct your life in the way you want to go. And you can choose to have jobs. Like, I know there are those who are less privileged out there, and it feels like, oh, I have a minimum wage job or 3, and I can't get past this to make a better life. And the truth of the matter is, you can, but it won't be overnight. You have to take control, and it's not without sacrifice. There are some sacrifices you might need to make. Mama considers one of her biggest sacrifices to be television. She used to watch a lot of television. And this is where I don't want to sound like a hun, because I've heard them say that. They say, oh, don't take any time for television. It's not that I'm saying don't take any time for television. You do you, boo. I know a lot of photographers who watch their television shows while they're editing photos. And they can be effective that way. I don't know how, because Mama can't. Mama can't do that. She can listen to music and edit, but she can't edit and watch, and so it doesn't work for her. But it works for some people. So I'm saying, in a nutshell, you need to find your own way. That's the whole know yourself part. The getting to know yourself part of success. Because I will tell you one thing about my mama. All this time, in the 25 years, even when she was living with the ex or the soon-to-be ex, because legally speaking, this is another nutshell that you may find in a post-abusive relationship. They're still married. I know, it's gross. She doesn't like him much anymore. And they've been separated for over 10 years. But the legal system, well, it's not that the legal system is slow, it's that he hindered it. And that's something that can happen in a post-abusive relationship, is that sometimes the abuser can try to keep things going by not being diligent in their lawyering and shit like that. Oh, excuse my language. It's in all ages, and I already gave a warning earlier. I guess I can say shit. Anyway, that happened. Evidently, according to what she's heard, it's supposed to be in the court system now, and it should be not too long, but COVID has delayed things, so hopefully soon. And that's another reason why she goes by Patricia, and that's it. Just Patricia with a Y, because Patricia with a Y is easy to say. And, well, it's easy to say, but not easy to write, because lots of people write it wrong, but whatever. Anyway, the point is, like, she's already engaged to a new guy. Like, according to the Christians she used to know, she's a floozy living with a man who's not her husband. But that's just the way it is. And that's, if you want to judge me, her, go ahead, judge her. Whatever. That's why she go. to a, what did they call that? Brick and mortar church. Yeah, that's it. Anyway, part of it, anyways, because hello, Miss Judgy Pants, you are doing stuff too. But that's beside the point. That's beside the point. I do not judge. Actually, that's what one of the prophet people said about Mama is that her gift from the God that she no longer believes in was that she is non-judgmental, that she understands all the perspectives of a story, and that makes her easy to talk to. But that's whatever. That's whatever. We don't believe in the prophecy people anymore. But it was an interesting time. Anyway, where was I? Okay, what was I doing? Oh yeah, I was explaining why Mama only uses the one name. So her name is gonna change sometime. Oh, and she hated her maiden name because her maiden name is the oh uh, what's the word? The immigrant name, I guess is the word, her maiden name. And so she didn't like that because it was immediately identifiable of what that she was not white from that last name. And she didn't like that when she was younger. She didn't like that because she was very embarrassed by the part of her that was not white, because that is what internalized racism looks like, Anyways, there's a little bit of that because she was embarrassed because she didn't want to be part of the stereotype. And so she thought that if people saw her last name that they would know. So then she started using the Y in her name so nobody would know. So that's the story, part of the story of why there is a Y in Mama's name. Did you know that story? I don't know whether I told that story. I tell that story all the time because people ask all the time, why is there a Y in Mama's name? And it's like, well, she started using it in grade 10 when she hated her last name because she didn't want the teacher to know that she was half East Indian, because that usually led, at least, okay, can't say usually, that sometimes led to lower marks. There were some teachers who gave lower marks to people of color. That happens back in. I'm hoping it's not happening in the modern times, but that happens in Mama's time, and that was what. Yeah, no, Mama did not have that as a birth spelling. Her birth spelling and legal spelling is still the old-fashioned way, the way that means of noble birth. But there was very little noble about Mama's birth. That's what the name Patricia means, by the way, if you didn't know. Mama was really into the meaning of names at one point in time, and that's what Patricia means, and of noble birth. So anyways, yeah. No, it's not my birth spelling, or not Mama's birth spelling. Paige is my birth spelling. She's always spelled my name that way. But her spelling with the Y, she chose that. She chose that for herself in grade 10. Because there were too many Patricias in the classroom. Now, up until that point in time, except for grade 9, she had always gone by the name Trisha. Actually, yeah, it was Trisha. She was always a Trisha up until grade 10, and then she walked into that class, and there was already a Trisha, and there was already a Trish, and there was already a Patricia, and she did not like the name Pat, except for in grade 9. She used it in grade 9. Oh dear. I'm going to put that on the screen. I hope you don't mind, Kate. The opposite happened to my husband in high school in the mid-90s. His teacher hated him until he found out my husband was of German descent. And all of a sudden, my husband got great grades. Well, see, here's the thing. My dad, not my dad. It would be my granddad. Mama's dad had started out in Germany. No, he didn't start out in Germany. He started out in India. That's where he was born. He was born in India, but when he was 16, he went away from India, and somehow, Mama doesn't know the whole story of how it happened that he ended up in Germany, but that's where he ended up. And so he ended up in Germany, so he knew German. So Mama learned some German when she was a little girl. And her daddy would have stayed there, except that there was no way to become a citizen, and for some reason that was important to him. She never really understood why, and hasn't been able to question him about it because she left home when she was 16, and they stopped talking to her then. So, despite these questions in her mind about what exactly happened that she had, that came to mind as she began to understand as an adult, she doesn't know the answers to, because she's never talked to him. Not if she can help it. Anyway, getting on to that. That's just a side topic related to the Germanic type of things. Also, Mama's one day to be ex-husband was of somewhat German descent. He was adopted and didn't know exactly what he was, and it turns out it is Irish. And what is that? German descent, but in Canada, that they have like Mennonite or something like that, or maybe what's the other one, Hutterite, something like that. Anyways, where it originated overseas and then came over here, and they keep the religion of the old ways and stuff like that. Anyway, that's what Mama's ex was, and then he was raised Ukrainian with some Russian on the other side. And so during the married years, Mama sort of was exposed to the Ukrainian side of life in Canada, which is different from what she grew up with. So, anyways, yeah, Mama's going into the deep history today. Wowzers! I hope you're enjoying it. And if not, well, tell me what you want to learn about. I got through that first half hour, like that was packed with that information about the earned media and that sort of stuff. And I do hope you will check out getting that if you are in the market. Like it's if you're inspired. Mama's not a hard sell type person, but if you do need that earned media coverage, feel free to use my coupon code. Actually, oops, I was just informed that coupon code doesn't work yet, but I will update that and update the description with the proper coupon code as soon. The coupon code is proper, but the URL might not work. Yeah. Anyways, $4.97 for a whole media package, and we can show you some samples if you like. We'll do that because she's done it before. Anyway. Oh, that's a hands up. Oh, that's just a thumbs up. I like thumbs up. Okay, anyway, where was I? Or should I continue? I don't know. I am kind of going, I love talking to you, Kate. And this has been fun. And I'm walking down memory lane with the mama and the history and that sort of thing. It's kind of fun. Oh, let's see. Oh, maybe you need to go and do laundry. Yeah, that's where Mama's a princess. She doesn't do laundry. She only folds it and hangs it up. That's all. She doesn't actually do the laundry. They're bringing it down the stairs and putting it in the machines and remembering to put it from the one machine to the other. That is Mama's greatest failure point. That was her biggest downfall as a try to be a mama type thing. She is so happy she has the locksmith now who does the laundry and who has said, no worries, I will do it. Now, it started out as a security thing. We lived in an apartment when they first got together. They lived in an apartment, and the laundry room was kind of sketchy. And he's seen some things that made him feel like it wasn't a particularly safe place to go down to. So he did the laundry. Now we live in a safe place. but he continues to do the laundry. Is it sneaky? Maybe. Is it lazy? Maybe. Is it gonna continue? As long as he lets it. Yeah, that's our story, and we're sticking to it. Anyway, I will say bye to you for now, Kate, and I will say bye to all my other fans, and let me know in the comments area what you want to learn more about. I'm glad to, expand on any of these areas. We are focusing this coming month of love on Mama's media packages. Page 100 will be the coupon code all month long as we work towards creating a better place for creative, independent small business owners who love puppets, hate MLM, and who have a small budget that they need to stretch. Until next time, my friends, have an amazing rest of the day. Bye for now. Bye for now, friends. Bye.